Namaskar. Welcome to one more episode of What Does This Data Say? First, an appeal to all of you today. This topic I have chosen is very important for all of us. We keep debating about it, hearing about it, talking about it, reading about it, and thereafter we close our eyes. We rarely do anything about it, except probably cursing the politicians. Okay, look at these bad guys, they keep fielding all these criminal candidates in election and then they become MLAs and ministers. Now today's episode, in the end, I want to collect your views, how to go forward, and thereafter I will assure you that we will do something, and that something will come from all of us. So again, my request, watch it till the end and please do comment. Now if you see this issue about criminals in politics who have become MLAs, MPs and ministers, if you really see who all are responsible, I think it is me and you who are responsible. Have you ever gone to voting by looking at the criminal antecedents of a person? I rarely see anyone doing that, although that information is all made available on the website of the Election Commission of India. Secondly, one more information and a small disclaimer. This information which I am presenting today all has been taken directly or indirectly from the Election Commission of India. Much of it has been taken from the Association of Democratic Reforms, that is ADR, who runs mydata.info. ADR in turn has taken the data from the nomination papers filed by the candidates, which are available on the Election Commission of India's website. Second is a small disclaimer. Whenever I will use the word criminal here, the intent is always accused and not convicted. I just wanted to make that thing very clear. Also, each of these data sets which we have taken have a certain date associated with it. So it is not necessary that the same situation exists today. In fact, if you want today's info, you are advised to go to the ECI website and seek such information. Now, criminals in politics is a very age-old issue. We all know that, and we all know there are criminal background people who have entered our politics. So as a first step, I wanted to see whether anyone from the government is concerned about it. So I looked at the Lok Sabha website and just did a search that has any MP ever asked a question, and I found only one question which was asked by an MP, Srimati Riti Pathak, on 7th February 2018. She wanted to ask whether the government has received any proposal regarding taking steps to remove dreaded criminals from contesting elections. A quick word about Riti Pathak, who is an BJP MP from Siddhi in Madhya Pradesh. She was bold enough to ask this question to the BJP minister, being from the party itself. None of the other 542 MPs in this Lok Sabha have raised this issue about criminals in politics. Now, the minister's response was as usual. He never responded to the question. He went around saying that, this is governed by the People's Act of 1951. And secondly, he mentioned that the issue of electoral reforms has been referred to the Law Commission in 2013, and they have given the report number 244, and no action has so far been taken by this government. What the Law and Justice Minister at that time, Shri P.P. Chaudhary, did not mention that this report by the Law Commission had been received by the then Manmohan Singh government in February 2014, and I don't see any reason why a BJP government will take any action on a UPA report. A quick word about this report, which was submitted by the Law Commission in 2014. Now, the chairman of this committee was Honorable Justice A.P. Shah, the same judge which had decriminalized homosexuality. He was the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court. So he was the chairman, and there were quite a few other members in his team. In 2013, the UPA government under Manmohan Singh had asked the Law Commission to look into a holistic issue of electoral reforms. But this report which was submitted was only a part of it, which was titled Electoral Disqualifications. Along with the report, Justice Shah had submitted a letter which explains why the scope of the report was cut down. I'll just show you a part of this letter. He refers to a Supreme Court case, Public Interest Foundation and others versus Union of India, and he then goes on to mention that the Supreme Court had requested the Law Commission to expedite consideration for giving a report by end of February on two issues. First was whether disqualification should be triggered upon conviction, and second, whether filing of false affidavits could lead to the disqualification of candidates. So though Manmohan Singh did try to push the report, but it was too late in the day, and by February 2014, the government itself was embroiled in so many controversies that it hardly had time to table this on the Parliament. I will read just one para from the report which will indicate how our political parties were looking at this issue. Justice Shah had set up a national consultation on this issue, and he had invited everyone for this. The political parties, students' union, and private parties, and lot of other people he had involved. When he called the political parties, only NR Congress, a very small group from Pondicherry, Jharkhand Student Union, Biju Janata Dal, CPI, CPM, NCP, J&K Panthers Party, Rashtriya Lok Dal and TRS only came to attend the meeting. He said all the other major regional and national parties were invited, though they did not attend. So with that background, now let's look at some data. We first look at Lok Sabha, where we have 543 MPs, 234 MPs have recorded criminal cases against them, and with the total number of cases against them are 1037. The average case per MP works out to be 4.4, and with this 43% of our MPs are accused of a criminal case. And this is not really shocking. Stay with me because there are many more such interesting data which I am going to show you. Let's dig in a little bit further into this data. Now here what I am showing you is a chart with the number of MPs in each political party who have a criminal case registered against them. So on top of the list we have Bharatiya Janata Party with 303 Lok Sabha seats. 116 of their MPs are accused, which is around 38%. So that's how you read this graph. The blue line is the number of seats, the red line is the MPs with criminal cases, and the pink line here shows the percentage of MPs with criminal cases. Now here if you see 100%, this is Lok Janshakti Party from Bihar. All 6 of their MPs are accused. Another high percentage is JDU, where 16 out of 13 MPs are accused. Congress 52 seats, they have 52 seats and 29 MPs are accused. So I have shown you details about these 234 MPs, from which political parties they come from, and now I am going to show you from which state contributes to these maximum. If you see this graph, the maximum number percentage wise come from Kerala, where 20 MPs they have contributed and 18 of them have criminal cases. Uttar Pradesh contributes 80 seats to the parliament, and little over half of them, 55%, have criminal cases. Next comes Bihar, 40 seats, 32 have criminal cases, which is around 80%. So, and the remaining from other states. So what I am going to do now, I will be going into details of a couple of states I will take from here. One is Kerala, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, and Punjab, which is not in this list because it's going to the polls. All the while, at least I had this notion that southern states are little better than the northern state, but this figure really changes that notion. Look at this figure. We have all the five southern states here: Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Karnataka in the top 10 states who are contributing to the criminally accused MLAs and MPs. The North Indian states of UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh really is no surprise. Now, before I go over to the state data, I like to show you the member of parliament who has the largest number of pending criminal cases against him. This is Advocate Dean Kuriakose from Udupi constituency in Kerala, belonging to the Indian National Congress, and he has 204 cases against him. If you look at Wikipedia, 203 he is still accused, and in one case he has been given a punishment. Now let's look at the states. I'll show you data from the current Bihar Legislative Assembly. Now here's the data. The color code of this graph is the green lines are the number of seats the party has in the assembly. The orange line is the number of accused MLAs, and the red line is the number of cases against the accused MLAs. Now, there are 241 seats in the Bihar Assembly. Out of that, 163 MLAs are accused in some case or the other. They have total of 644 cases pending against them, which is roughly 68% of the MLAs are accused. The average case per MLA is 4. Now I'll zoom into the top 5 here so that you can see it clearly. Rashtriya Janata Dal RJD tops with 54 accused MLAs out of 74 who have 257 cases against them. BJP is at the second spot with 47 accused MLAs out of 73 and 136 cases against them. These are followed by JDU, Congress, CPI, ML, etc. We now look at Kerala, who percentage wise have the maximum accused MPs in the Lok Sabha. Now, if you look at this figure here, Kerala has 140 seats in the assembly. Out of that, 96 are accused in some case or the other. There are total of 476 cases against them. 69% of the MLAs are accused, and the average case here is 5, one more than Bihar. So again, I'll zoom into the top 5 as the smaller parties really don't matter. In Kerala, CPM tops the list. Out of 62 MLAs, 44 are accused with 176 cases. And thereafter, it is the Congress who has 20 MLAs accused out of 21 and 176 cases against them. So, is it a trend that about 60 or 70% of our MLAs in the state assemblies are accused in a criminal case? Well, not really. If you look at Punjab, that's one state which really stands out in the terms of number of criminals. Here's the data for Punjab. There are 117 seats in the Punjab Assembly. Out of that, 16 MLAs are only accused in a total of 26 cases, which comes out to be around 14%. Average case per MLA is far below the other states. It is only 1.63. So the last state I will now cover is Uttar Pradesh. Here I will present you two types of data. One is regarding the assembly which was recently dissolved, and the second I will talk of the candidates which are fighting the 2022 election. So look at the data from UP. Here there are total of 402 seats in the assembly. 144 MLAs are accused, which turns out to be 35.8% in 449 cases. Average case per MLA is 3.1. Now BJP here tops the list with 311 seats. They have 114 MLAs which are accused and have 322 cases against them. Thereafter, if you observe the figure, it drops drastically. At second place, we have Samajwadi Party with 47 seats and only 15 MLAs who have cases against them. BSP, this is Apna Dal, Congress and so on, which further falls rather drastically. So in the current assembly in Uttar Pradesh, the majority of cases were against the ruling party, which is the Bharatiya Janata Party. Just to remind you, have a look at this figure once again. Keep this number in mind that there were 35.8% accused MLAs accused of criminal cases in the UP assembly, which was dissolved. Before I show you the data of the candidates in the 2022 UP election, I want to show you this graph. This graph represents the average cases per member, and I have taken a few selected states, some of which we have already discussed. Punjab is at the bottom with 1.6 cases per MLA, and the average of the country seems to hover around 4. Lok Sabha MPs is little over that at 4.4, but just look at Tamil Nadu. The number of cases against the Tamil Nadu assembly members is enormous. I haven't presented it here, but the average case per MLA in Tamil Nadu is 12. Now let's look at the data of the candidates who are contesting the UP election. This data pertains to 349 constituencies in the first 6 phases. The number of candidates which have been analyzed is 1655. Candidates with a criminal record in this election in these phases is 690 with an average of 42%. Now in the assembly, I had told you the percentage was 35.8. The number of candidates in this election, it has gone up by a whopping 7 percentage points, which is 42%. Now if you look at the party, BSP is fielding 347 candidates, and out of that 133 have a criminal record. SP has 198 candidates this time with a criminal record. BJP 143 and Congress 140. It looks like all other parties have picked up the cue from BJP to field more and more candidates with a criminal background this time around. Though in the assembly they never had so many people with a criminal background. Now this is a huge shift in the thinking of these political parties. The story of criminal accused MPs and MLAs doesn't end here. Look at this data from Uttar Pradesh regarding the MLAs who have been accused in serious crimes. Now, serious crimes are defined as murder, attempt to murder, crime against women, rape, etc. And as I said, we analyzed data in first 6 phases. 690 people were accused in criminal cases. Out of 690, 230 people have been accused in serious crime, which is 33%. And if you look at this last bar here, which is the red alert constituencies. Now a red alert constituency is defined as wherever there are 3 or more candidates having a criminal record, the constituency becomes a red constituency. Now out of 349, 188 constituencies more than half are in UP are red alert constituencies. And many of these candidates will soon become MLAs and go on to become ministers as well. So let's sum up all the things. The previous government made a very feeble attempt to try to do something. I don't think their intention was to change the law. The current government, if they have 50% of their MPs with criminal backgrounds, do you think they will do anything about these people? No, they won't. The judiciary has laid its hands off. They say this is a matter for the legislative. So now who is left? It is me and you who are left, and for years we have been voting these people into power. Even persons who have been accused in serious crimes go on to become MLAs. The political parties are not doing anything. So isn't it time now that we should have a look at it? Think about it, write to me, and even if it's a very small step, it doesn't matter. We will try to start doing something. With that, I'll end this episode. See you again next week with some other interesting data. Till then, Namaskar.